Hi, I'm Tanya Mitchell, a certified franchise executive, and I've worked with my dad for over 25 years, helping people with all types of business opportunities within the brain training business. My father is the founder of the largest personal brain training company in the world. His programs and business opportunities are in over 45 countries worldwide. He's also created tests and reading programs. He's also the co-author of The Purpose-Directed Business, which is a book about choosing the right business. And that's what we want to help you with today. We want to help you choose the right business based on 7 must-haves when considering a tutoring or education business.
Right. And the first one is to make sure it's innovative.
Yeah.
And make sure it's new, it's better, that it's special. You don't want to do something that everyone else is doing. You want to use the best science there is, the best methods there is. You want to get bigger and better results than anyone's ever gotten. And it's something that can set you apart. So if you're innovative, you can be set apart. It also gives you the opportunity to charge a little bit more for your time because you're better.
Right.
You're different.
So make sure it's unique. Consider your community that you want to open in. Figure out what's missing from this community. What are the needs in this community? That's how people have always been able to sort of make this huge dramatic shift in industries, right? They're solving a problem that's not currently met within their community.
And actually what we do in brain training is relatively new. There are some digital products that have been working on it, but we do one-to-one, and the results are significantly better than what we get on digital products, even our own digital product.
Yeah, there's a huge need for what we offer all over the world. It's been real interesting even opening in different countries because you realize how similar human beings are, how similar families are all across the world, and how needed
When you think about it,
services.
is there an advantage to learning easier, to learning faster, and learning better? There's great advantages. Great advantages.
Yes, and that takes us to our next must-have, which is the unmatched results. And one thing that we've been really good at is measuring the type of changes our clients get within our programs. And a lot of times when you look at tutoring or educational options, there's no studies, there's no research, there's nothing to back up the programs they have.
Well, you know, when I first got into this years ago, doing training in the visual area, I started using test instruments that were outside my field to see what kind of impact this would have. And the first thing I compared is ourselves to the public schools, the special education programs. And I made sure that we were getting better results. And as we went along, I used other instruments, and I wanted to get even more significant results. I wanted multiple times better results than what the others were getting. And so I kept using new test instruments to measure these results, and we kept fine-tuning our program, kept improving the program, so the results are really, really significant. And I would have to say today, as I look at our studies, look at other people doing even kind of similar things, and there aren't a whole lot of them, but our results are unmatched. We're getting, I mean, we're talking about a 3-year improvement in reading in a matter of 6 months. You don't hear that. When you're talking about changing memory or changing attention skills in high degrees more than any other program, it's pretty exciting. So you want good results.
You want a powerful program with research that backs what you're saying you can do.
Right.
Make sure there's peer-reviewed articles, multiple articles, and studies on whatever business, especially within the education field or tutoring field.
Right.
Make sure you have things backing up what you're saying you're going to do.
We got full-time staff, that's all they do.
Yes.
Is evaluate our results compared to others, or our results compared to what's been done in the past.
Right. The third one is provider options. And for that, we mean that you have the ability to start where you need to start, and then also grow your business. So, we were talking about, I have a family member who was very interested in starting his own business, but he was going to do everything, which is okay to start, but you can never really grow a big business just with one person. You need employees, right? You need to delegate so that even if you take vacation, you're still making money. It's not, or if you get sick, you know what happens? Then your business just drops while you're sick. You need help if you want to grow something.
A number of our franchisees that have even multiple centers now and employ quite a few trainers and help hundreds of people. Some of those actually started out as single individuals working with one person, and then moving on to out of their home, and then moving in and adding a few more people and moving into a small office space, and then finally centers. And some have even gone, as I mentioned, multiple locations, and some have even taken over around the world, whole countries.
Right. So write down your financial goals and then figure out, what do I need to do personally, or who needs to help me in order for me to accomplish these goals.
Right.
The next must-have is customer satisfaction. And this is obviously very important with all the online review sites today. If you do not have highly satisfied customers, it's going to be a business killer. So make sure that you're choosing a business that is not only high referrals, but also those 5-star reviews that you want people to see every single day.
Right. I mean, we've stressed this, and I think it's a mindset that every trainer and every person who's training or involved with our system has this mindset to provide just excellence. Not only excellence in the training itself, but in the communications and everything else as part of making a successful business. And we watch these numbers closely. And I mean, our rating is over 9.5 out of 10.
9.6 out of 10. That's been for over 8 years.
A long time.
We have 4.9 out of 5-star reviews on over 3,000 reviews.
Right.
So seek something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
And because people feel a lot more comfortable knowing that others were comfortable with the services you provided.
Right. Next one. Your must-have is make sure it's not easy entry, and so it's not something that anybody could do. And the other week I was talking to someone about she was considering brain training versus tutoring, right? Because she's an education background,
Right.
And she said, if I go work for a company, I'm going to make about $15 an hour. But if I do this myself, I'm still competing with the high schooler next door. So maybe. I said, well, is that what you want to make, $15 an hour in your own business? No. Well, choose something where you can charge $85 and $90 an hour, and then maybe not even do it yourself. You have other people do it for you. So you need something that is unique enough that
not everyone can do.
Right. Next must-have, more than enough potential customers. Maybe something that everyone could benefit from.
Well, although we're close to tutoring, we're not. We're actually training versus tutoring, and there's a major difference, and maybe we'll discuss it or maybe later. But in tutoring, you're limited to kids. You're limited to children between 6 or 7 and 18 who get tutored, and yet there's a much broader population out there that could use brain training. For example, kids preschool could use some type of help to develop these skills. Of course, kids in school that struggle certainly can use it. Those who want an advantage can certainly do it. You get out in the workforce, how well and how fast and how easy and how much better you can do something is what we're all about, is what we train. And that's an advantage to anybody. When you become a senior and you start losing some of your capabilities, and you lose the ability to remember as well and do things as fast, that can also be trained. So the market is very, very, very broad. male, female, young, old, people here in the United States, people around the world.
Strengths, maybe they want strengths.
Right. So,
and a lot of times when I'm talking to candidates, they'll say, well, you have this overhead, right? So you might have a location. You want to make sure that you're taking full advantage of that location. If you choose to go with tutoring school-age kids, you're only going to have the advantage of using that center for maybe 3 hours a day for the most part.
I had one of our providers tell me just in the last month that he actually has more adults in his program now than students.
Right. So when you choose an opportunity like our brain training programs, you can fill the day with adults and after school with kids.
Right.
Perfect. The next one that we want to talk about is something you can enjoy and be passionate about. And you wrote a whole book on this called The Purpose Directed Business.
Yeah.
But talk about the importance of passion in what you choose.
Well, you live one life, and you might as well live it with passion. I mean, why just struggle through? Why not do the things you really want to do, the things that will make a difference in other people's life? Because, you should get more joy out of the joy that you can provide to others. And I'm passionate about that. When I hear stories of people who have been in our program and how their lives change, I sit there and cry. I'm an easy crier to begin with, but it just gets to me. And I feel, wow, that's neat. All that time I spent trying to put this together and the pains you have early in starting any kind of business is well rewarded, because you can see the effect it has on others' lives and their relationships. It's just so neat. So I live with a purpose. Find out what your purpose is, seek your purpose, fulfill your purpose, and make a difference in the world.
That's awesome. Our last one is, of course, important, but it makes good financial sense. It's a must-have. And a lot of times when I'm talking to people, I'll ask them, do you have a financial goal? Because if they just want to make, an extra $20,000 a year, it's going to be a very different type of business than, if they want to support their family and have multiple centers and make a much bigger revenue. So you have to make sure that what you're going to choose is going to meet your financial goals, and that you have the help to do that.
Right. As you know, Tanya, because you're my daughter, I do seminars for my whole family. I have 16 grandchildren now, and so we bring them all in, and I do seminars, and I teach them things about life. And more recently, we had one on how to find what your niche should be and how to grow a business. And it was exciting because I want them to be entrepreneurs. I am. Not everyone's going to be. I have one granddaughter that wants to be a nurse, another wants to be a missionary, and that's fine. They're seeking their passion. But for a lot of them, just working for somebody isn't, it can be okay, but it's not what necessarily drives me. And of course, I guess we all think everyone's like us. And so I like to instill in them the desire to grow something, to build something, to be able to leave something as a legacy when they're gone. And being in business can do that. And particularly the type of business we're involved in, not only can you leave a legacy and financial rewards to your family, but you can make a lot of difference while you're doing it.
Right. And it is really hard to make a financial goal if you're employed by somebody. So in order for you to make a financial goal, you have to be in charge of being able to get that goal. So unless you're
Sure is a lot easier. Sure is a lot easier.
Yes.